Hi, I'm Taxi, and this is a Quirky Stacker. Like, it's called like this because I suck at naming things. And this stacker actually has a quirk. It will handle trains of different length. As you can see, like this is I call this a long train. These are called like short trains. And short trains are basically half of a long train, as you can see. But yeah, the long trains will only take empty lanes. They won't go behind a short train. And the short train will try to go behind another short train before going to an empty lane. Like if there are no short trains, it will go in an empty lane. And that's basically what it does. Of course, after the stacker, you must have like different unloading zones for your trains so they can all go away. I don't know why you would want this, but if you want this, at least somebody did it. I was not able to find anyone else who did something like this. I was like, why can I not stack trains like this, you know? And now I know why, because it was a fucking pain in the ass to do it, but it's okay. Let's see how to set this up. I mean, there is this blueprint book here with a handful of blueprints. The first 4 ones are examples of setups you can do, like with the blueprints. I mean, the stations that are included in the first 2 examples are kind of bad, so you know, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on stations. But yeah, this sucks. But you know, this is just an example to make you understand how it could go, how it could work, you know. So yeah, that's it for those. These next 20 blueprints are like building blocks for you to build like your own stackers easily. You have different lengths. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm sorry. You have different lengths and also some signals that have been set up already to have some variables, whatever. You also have the other like direction. You see either this or this. Then you have the length detector, which is the section at the beginning, at the entrance of the stacker. And this is what reads your train. Notice how there is a combinator here, and you can use this to block incoming trains. Now this one is not going. If I open this, go. And yeah. Next is the control, the stacker control, which is this. It's the brain of the stacker, basically. And then you have the time counter. This time counter is something you will need to find like the time to put in here. There is a combinator in the circuit that needs a time, and that time is wait, this is closed. This time is basically the time that like a short train takes to clear this block, the top block of a lane, when the short train after it is leaving. So like when this leaves, this will go down, and we want to know how much time does it take from when this starts to leave and this goes down. See, now, I mean, that's exactly what happened. But yeah, so how to do all this stuff. Ow! Ouch, we start with some stations. Ideally you should, oh shit, go back in here. Ideally you would have like a better station than what I have. I only have this suboptimal combo unloading thing, which I included in the blueprint book because it's interesting how like it can hold either a short train or a long train here, but it's very bad. It's suboptimal, so whatever. So once you have your stations, you can go and add a piece of your stacker. I guess you can have anything here, like if you want, you can have the stacker over there, but let's just put it here. I chose the 3/6 car lanes. And to place them, you just put the first one and then move 2 tiles outwards and place another lane. Lane by lane, you make your stacker. And these are 8 lanes, that's cool. Now, the right variety has a difference. When you place them, you see that additional rail over there at the top. Like this, you just delete them afterwards. You don't have to, but it's nicer. Those rails prevent this this pole here from duplicating everywhere. So, you know, whatever. Right? Next thing you have to do is to find the 0.9 mid signals and 0.9 entering signals and place them over these signals here. So for the mid signals, look at see how these top signals are connected with a green wire. These also are. So you just place them like this and delete the rest. And you do the same with the entrance signals. Be careful, because at the top here there will be 2 signals, and you have to overlay the ones that are connected to a green wire. See, this top one is connected to a green wire, this one is not connected to anything. You just put them like so, click, and delete the ones you don't need. And now this is set up correctly. Each lane will have the same signal on each signal. So yes. Also, these signals are not connected to anything, and they don't have to be. So don't connect them ever to anything. Alright, next thing is the length detector. Here it is. Again, you can put this wherever you want. Just be sure to not put any other signal on that track section. So I will just put it here. And since this is a 3/6 stacker, I want to know if a train is 3 wagon long or longer, you know. So we have to put another space here. Each of these space is a wagon, so we do this. We now have 3 wagons. And then you overlay this last part, the inlet side over here, like this. So that the last wagon marker, whatever this thing are, is this one. Now you extend the rail, and this should work. Now make sure, by the way, that this green and red wire never connect directly to this green and red wire, because they are meant to do different things. So that said, you put the stacker control next, like so. And notice how there is a side with a yellow combinator and a side with a green combinator. On the yellow combinator side, you just connect the power poles with each other, with green and red wire. So you carry this here and this here. And you do the same on this side. The green side has to connect to the length detector. Okay, so you put this here and you put this here. Also, if you want, you can remove this power pole and connect it to that pole instead. It's the same, doesn't matter. All right. Now, notice this combinator here. It has like some values here by default. This combinator has to connect basically an example of every variable that your stacker has. No more and no less. So like this stacker has the variables from 0 to 7. You see, like 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. 5, 6, 7. So right now I have to add a 6 and a 7 here. And this will work. If your stacker has less than 6 lanes, you know, like if you had 4 lanes, this will go up to 3. And so you should put only 0, 1, 2, and 3 here, okay? No other things. This has to match exactly the variables you have. Okay. Next, the time counter. We need the time counter to get the time for this stacker. So you get the time counter blueprint. You connect the red and green wire to the stacker side wires, you know? And this combinator in the middle here will tell you the time. But to calculate the time, we need 2 trains. We need a couple of trains to go here in the stacker and stop. So to make them stop, we have to close these stations. Luckily, I put this thing here that closes the I mean, the station has to be on, but the access to the station must be off, you know. So you can also use this last blueprint here, access control. Like if you put it like this, you can block a lane. Also, you know, vertically, like that. You know, that's cool. I don't know what they're doing outside. Okay, so yes, let's get 2 trains in here. Like normally you could build them up in here, and no, that you need to do 2 short trains, by the way. But I mean, I already have the trains prepared in this thing here. This is a mod that will make some trains for me, so let's just make a couple of trains. Oh, by the way, this is all vanilla. I'm using some mods here to test, but this will work in vanilla. There is no mods involved here. So, alright, now we have 2 trains on 1 lane. Also, be sure that only 1 lane is occupied while you are doing this test. Because if there is another lane anywhere, this won't work correctly. Just have 2 trains on 1 lane, and have a signal block one of the trains. Now, if I let 1 train through, after making sure that there is no signal anywhere here, like it will go, that will stop there, and this thing will have counted the time that took. So it was 116 frames, or U updates, whatever. Now, since I am using nuclear fuel, I will put it on the nuclear fuel thing here, but it doesn't really matter. What you do is put this number in this combinator, and then the number is processed by these 3 things here, and you get another number on this pole here, 135. What you do is you put this 135 inside this time in ticks counter. You do it on the white square, 135. And now you copy this and paste it in the circuit. There. Now is the correct time. You can delete this if you want. If you want to time other fuels, be sure to have your trains with the same fuel and send them over. And also, if you mess up, you can reset this number using this combinator here. You just turn it on and off again, and it's reset. And that's pretty much it. But wait, I forgot to mention 2 things. Like, this thing is designed to work when all the trains have the same fuel, okay? So when, like, all my trains right now in this stacker are using the rocket fuel. But if there was how do you say, a slower train, like if one of the trains had the solid fuel instead, then this will be thrown off when that train comes in. So, you know, just have all your trains run the same fuel. Also, another thing, it might be wise to have the time counter. I mean, when you have the time counter out, like time as many fuels as you can. Like coal and wood have the same value, so you don't need to time differently. But like if you have these 3, time them all, because if you maybe are using solid fuel, but then you want to switch to rocket fuel or to nuclear fuel, you will have to time it again. So and that means you will have to close the stacker and have a lot of trains everywhere. So you know. Also, another very important thing is like I need to tell you about the only problem that the only real problem about this stacker, which is, hear me out. If a short train is coming and the only lane it can go is behind another short train, And that other short train has waited here inside the stacker for more than 8 minutes, then the incoming short train will be stuck here. It will wait at this signal here. It's weird because if you see a train waiting to any signal that is not this one, there is a problem. Like the short train would wait at this signal, and this signal would look green, like on this thing, because it's blue actually, but you know, it says green. And what will happen is that that train will basically, if you look over it, its path will go anywhere else that is not that lane with the other train. Okay, well, so you know, long story short, if a train waits too much time here, the short train that has to go behind it won't go behind it. It will try to go in a closed lane, even here, where the signal is closed both by the circuit and there is another train. It will want to go there even if this is green. And this is because the penalty of the train is higher than that of the signal. Like, there is a workaround to this to basically increase the time at which the train gets stuck. Like by default, it's 8 minutes because of reasons. But to increase this number, what you do is you make a blueprint with these signals here. They are the signals in the midsection, which are connected by a green wire. So yeah, you just need the signals. This is the blueprint. And what you do is you basically overlay more of the signals. It's hard to see, but what I am doing is, yeah, go away, go away. I will block the trains with my body. Ugh! Like, what I do is you overlay them signals like this. And each row of signals that you add will increase the time by 166 seconds. So, yeah. This is a problem with the game itself, because like of the way the Pathfinder works. I mean, there is a thread on the forums. I will link it in the description where this is discussed. But right now, this is the only way to work around that. So yeah, now you know everything you should know about this Stagger, I think. Well, about setting it up at least. Now, let's say that these blueprints are not enough. You want a, I don't know, a 10-20 car lane. What you can do is use these blueprints here, these 5 blueprints, DIY, whatever, to make your own lanes. You start with either a lane exit right or a lane exit left. And then you begin by placing this blueprint here, the lane section. It's 2 wagons basically. You place it the first time like this. Just touch the thing. And on the right blueprint, the same, just like this. Do not overlay them like this. You must place it like this. Trust me on that. So, if you wanted a 10 long thing, you would do this a lot of times. But for the sake of brevity, I will just do like an even numbered lane and an odd numbered lane, because there are some differences. So like, let's do a 4 lane here. You just to add 2 more wagons, you just do this. You overlay the chain signal with the other thing. So there is no chain signal now. And this will be our half of the stacker. See, this is 4 wagons long. Now to do the other half, whatever, you just do the same. You keep making sections, and once they are the number you want, you delete these signals, and this should be the same number of wagons that are in this section. And that's cool. This thing here. And let's look at the odd numbered thing. let's say we want to do a tree section here. These are 2, so we need another one. Come on. And this is a tree section. So we then delete this. Now, this is half of the thing. To make the other half, you do the same, but the difference is that the chain signal, you can't overlay it. It won't get created anyway because it's too close to the other signal. But if you place it, like, notice this section here has only 2 possible places for a signal. This one has 3, and this is okay. Just keep placing another. Once they are enough, you just delete the stuff you don't need, and this will be 2 sections containing the same number of wagons. So, alright. Again, this. Now, in both cases, you need to add the mid signals and the entrance signal. The mid signal, you just look at the blueprint, see the signal connected to a red wire, you put it over here, over the mid signal. And for the entrance signal is the same, you do this. And let's do it also here. You just rotate it so that this is the tricky one. You just have to put it like this. Now, this is another thing where the even and the odd lanes will differ. We need to place a signal manually, and if the section is even numbered, you put it here as soon as you can after this pole. If it's odd, you place it not here but in the next one. So like this is even, this is odd, okay? Since this is odd, you see 3 wagons, we put it one thing apart. You know, that's what you do. And that's all the differences between the even and the odd numbered lane sections. Each step I take from now on will be the same for both. So we just next we just make a blueprint and copy it over, much like the other blueprints. Then you connect these rails here and those rails over there. Next, you have to connect all the power poles. So the mid one has to be connected with both a red and a green wire. The top one, just a green wire. And then you take a long power pole and put it wherever. Just make sure that you can connect everything together. And should this here or something? Alright. So next thing you have to do is to connect this signal here, with the red wire up to the top. Then make sure this also is connected to the red wire. And you take the green wire and bring this thing to here, and to here, and here. So now the green wire will touch every signal, I mean all of these signals, but not these 2. And the red wire will touch these signals and that one. And this is a lane. This is just like the one I made, actually. I mean, I made it like this, so it should be same. Yeah, the power pole is basically the same. And the steps are the same down here too. Like you take this, you put it here, then you connect the rails, and so on and so forth. So yes, this is how to make your own lanes. Alright, this is the part where I try to explain what's going on in this circuit. this stuff here is just the same circuit as this, just arranged differently. You can find this by in this blueprint here, stacker control expanded plus display. So if you want, you can look at it yourself, your server. But yeah, it's designed for a 6-lane stacker with these variables here. So like, make sure that you have your lanes set up like this. And yeah, let's see. More or less, I mean, I won't go too much into detail because I can't, because I'm dumb. I can't remember, or rather, I can't put into words fast enough what's going on in here. I will just try to explain more or less what's going on. Okay, the first thing is like, we have to look at this thing first. This is very important because this section here, these 3 signals here, are what read an incoming train. Like, if I slow down time here and let this train through, you will see that this short train will never trigger 3 of those lights like at once. Like right now, close it. Okay. A short train will never trigger 3 of them at once, right? Because the distance from between these 2 signals, we set them earlier to be like 3 wagons apart. If we were to send a long train, it will trigger 3 of them at once, you see? 3. And that's a long train. So basically, what happens is normal. These combinators here will tell if the train is long or short. And depending on that, these combinators will output something on the green wire. This green wire is this green wire here, you see? If you go over it with the mouse, you will see that it goes to here. And this is the only combinator that outputs on the green wire. Only signals output on the wire. These signals here. So yeah, what it does is it takes whatever number that's coming from there. Like look yeah, it's for a very short moment because there are no trains now. But wait, why are they so fast? They're so fast. But yeah, right now, whenever a train comes in, you should see some numbers. You see, they input as 1 and come out as 2. All right. And on this line here, on the green line, you see the green signals can either be 1, 2, or 3. If they are more than 1, the green signals close. Like each signal connected to a green wire will be closed when its value is more than 1. Like even these 2 down here. The difference is that this one is the only one that is red. I mean that is being read by the circuit. And so by looking at like the mid signals, this down here connected to the red wire, and the green signals, and doing some magic calculations here, and possibly here, these things will open and close the right lane according to the train that is red. Also, there is another section which is like this stuff over here, which is basically whenever a train is starting to leave the stacker, this signal will turn yellow. Let's see if that happens. Yes. And as soon as that yellow is detected, it goes over here to this timer, and it's the infamous timer of earlier. This is the time we set up. When the timer is going on, it will output a Q on this red wire here. And this red wire is the one that goes to this section here, the length detector. And it goes all the way to this signal here. You see, this signal will be closed when a Q is detected. And if you look over the red signal, you will eventually see some Qs floating about, I guess. I mean, not right now because, okay, there is a Q and now it's on, you see. And the Q can also be made if all the bottom blocks are closed and the long train is coming, but yeah, I mean, more things output on the Q. Also, last but not least, this section here will keep this signal closed until it sees 4 green lights. You see, yeah, green. As soon as the last one turned green, this thing opened. See, and that's mostly how it works. Also, the display, like it shows the signals. Yeah, see how they act here, and these white lights, when they turn on, it means that the circuit is closing that signal. When these red lights down here turn on, that means that, yeah, see now you saw what happened. It meant that the circuit was closing the lane, but there was no train. If the red is on, there is also a train there. If there is only the white, there is no train. See, so okay, that's mostly what it does. I hope you find this information useful, but I think the best way to understand something like this is to probably just look at it, look and there, and look at where the cables go. I tried to make it, like, I don't know, ordered and, you know, tidy. Not really tidy, but but yes, like, good luck in your future endeavors and whatever. See you in the future.